All right, so we have Nick Cannon. He was fired from Viacom, man, due to anti-Semitic remarks and posts. He actually had Professor Griff on there, who actually was a member of Puppy Enemy. And Professor Griff, he did his history on him. He was kicked off for promoting like anti-Semitic comments about the Jews, and pretty much he had a Cannon class, where Nick Cannon has, and it was very popular right now. I think a million subscribers on this YouTube channel, and they were discussing, having a casual conversation about, our history, I guess, quote unquote, where African Americans came from, what is their foundation, what they're originally known for doing, and what is their sole purpose. And it was really talking about talking and tying into the racial injustice and stuff that goes on here, and talk about that white people pretty much they don't really have enough melanin, and the reason why they're they don't have melanin is because they're not from us. They aliens at one sort. I think Professor Griffiths was really establishing that, and actually pretty much just stating that whites are pretty much they're supposed to be inferior. They're the ones that, because they have the lack of melanin and whatever, they're supposed to die off and not be a part of here in this world, and they are more animalistic. And when you make these comments, I actually heard these comments before, I know, in not only just the pro-black community, but some, African American community. And I just know it's just like a hunger for knowledge, man. We have a thirst for knowledge, and we want to know why are we here? Like, what is our sole purpose here, as a people and collectively. And, when you're making these type of comments, I mean, it's just all conspiracy. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and say that it's completely false, because I'm still trying to study. Like me, I don't know so much about it. I hear it like good rhetoric, but it's hard to prove these type of things. I mean, when I hear like Sonetta and other individuals saying the Homo sapiens, I mean, even though they were real individuals in that particular time, though they couldn't read or write, they couldn't know how to bathe, they was walking on fours. I heard that as African Americans, we had to teach them how to walk, we had to teach them how to read, we had to teach them how to do certain things. So we were kings, and queens, we were very superior. I mean, it's cool to actually learn about that, but how's that? Oh goodness, my camera. But how is that going to help us move forward as a people in this country? I feel like we got to look into the future now. Yeah, it's good to, reminisce the past and where we were and how we got into the situation. Like I was reading The Color of Law is extremely in detail about the redlining and, how it really denied access to African Americans to have affordable housing and many various of things. But I mean, I feel like it's Nick Cannon, you feel like with Viacom, you did, Nickelodeon with them in the 90s and 2000s, wilding out, MTV, made, a lot of money. You end up, being in movies with Drumline. So, of course, he was making a lot of things for himself. But only thing I would say is this, you have to be this is really kind of inspired me to be independent, because it's only so much you can say. I mean, you can't really... It's like when you talk about like the Rothschilds, you talking about the people that got so called like rule the world and everything. I mean, you have to be careful with that stuff, and you have to show actual proof about all these things. And even if you do that, it's you gotta suffer the consequences on that, because you own their platform. That's all it is. It's just like me, I mean, as if someone is in the United States military, they can't talk about anything really affiliation with the president, because that's their commander in chief, whether they like him or not. It's I mean, it'd be okay to maybe talk about it behind closed doors, but on the platform with millions of people that can hear you and that can share retweets and tweets and all this stuff, and things can get misconstrued, that can fall back on you. And I just think that's what really happened with Nick Cannon. If he was a regular individual, possibly it probably wouldn't happen at all. I mean, people were like, okay, because people talk about this all the time. But my thing is this: I want to get self-educated on this, because I always have an interesting thing. Like, okay, it's African Americans that was really harping on, is African Americans really the true Jews? Are they the real Israelite Jews? According to the biblical, I know we originated from Africa, in many places in that continent. At the same time, it's really no actual like concrete solid proof. Maybe like lack of knowledge. I'm trying to read and study. Like I want like people who's pro-black, or maybe you're not pro-black. I want you to really understand and give me something in the comment section where I can look at books and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to do my research, go to the library, because I really want to know where everything started. Like, how did we get here, where we're here for, all this stuff. I want to really be self-educated. And I just felt like he did apologize. Of course he had to, but when you affiliate with different networks, only so much you can say. Now, the only thing I do disagree with, because I was talking to my brother Mike about this, is that I mean, it's maybe a violation of this freedom of speech in a way, but you gotta understand, the type of class that you're going up against. I mean, you can't be talking about things like that to the people, their people like that, man. I mean, that's just how it is. It's sad, but that's just how it goes. I just feel like if you would have just more talk about more concrete details like affordable health care for African Americans, how we can get reparations, how individuals can how we can move on, like have Black Lives Matter be accountable for black on black crime. What can we do that? How can we can eliminate those things that's going on in major cities? I mean, we have how can we pretty much duplicate what's going on with North Carolina, that city in Nashville. They actually just approved reparations for African Americans. I think those are great talking points and something that we can really improve on our education for our children, something that we can build generational black wealth. And that's the whole purpose. I mean, it's a real generational gap between Caucasians and African Americans as far as owning homes. 49% of us, actually 46% of us own homes. That's between the 1960s and in 2018. Like, and whites own about 75 to 80% of their homes, in America. So it's kind of it's like we kind of behind, on the totem pole when it comes to these certain things, bro. But it was sad, to hear about this with Nick Cannon. I mean, casual conversation with Professor Giff, and I understand like you can say whatever you want to say, but when it comes to speaking, about these type of tactics, it's and these theories, it's not really conducive for us at the end of the day, man. And it's just a result of him just losing his company. Maybe this could be a sign that he could be free and kind of do his own thing in a way. I'm pretty sure he made tons of money over the years from working and being in affiliation with Viacom. But you gotta understand that like none of these companies are ruled by the people that he was talking about. That's the only thing. I just think he didn't do it the smart way. I feel like it's okay to talk about these things, but at the same time, don't do it on a platform where you can reach millions of people that's not even yours. Now, if you had an independent, you was all independent, you got your own company, you can say whatever you want to say, but at the same time, man, well, you still got to kind of be careful. You can't say any racial remarks or anything, but I just feel like at the end of the day, man, this maybe just like proving an example, like, hey, companies not risking, their business at the end of the day, so you got to kind of be careful, man. I mean, I don't really know too much about, like I said, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and all that type of stuff, man. I mean, I know people, if you guys watch this video, maybe want to comment on here. That's cool. Let's have a casual conversation. I'm not trying to debate with anyone. I just want an open discussion. I want people who actually know a lot about this information, to actually, give me some concrete evidence and some documents and stuff I can read over, and then maybe I can go over and like, okay, well, maybe that is true. Maybe African Americans were, the original Jews. Who knows, man? But I mean, is the Jews is actually affiliated with a race? Because I know it was some black Jews, but I can't sit up and say every African American is a Jew. But who knows, man? I'm gonna just do some more, concrete research on that. But I just feel like, this maybe just wasn't the right time to really talk about this. I mean, I know the racial injustice, you can talk about that and how we could be equate fairness in the criminal justice system. I feel like that would have been more productive. But like I said, it's the Cannon Class, man. It's your podcast. You can say whatever you want to say, but when you still work for the company, the people that signs your check, that is ruled by a elite class, and you saying these things about them, they're gonna feel some type of way, and they can cut you off just like that. And I just feel like they just want to make an example out of it. We had Deshaun Jackson was victimized of it, man. So being anti-Semitic is in their eyes is it can be a crime, man. You can really mess up your livelihood. But I just feel like as African Americans, let's get our facts. I'm not saying he's incorrect, but let's talk about this. I would love to interview anyone who may know more information about the true heritage of where we came from. Instead of West Africa and what we were doing. We were enslaved by the Egyptians. It's everything that according to the account was biblically. Because the people who don't believe in the Bible, I'm looking like, well, how can you believe that we were Hebrews? I mean, because the Israelites, it was all in the book of Genesis. How they escaped from Egyptian Pharaoh, and trying to reach to the promised land. And it was Abraham, part of our ancestry history, even though he was the descendant of Jesus Christ, stuff like that. Like, what is the real knowledge here? And I know when Jesus said, I'm the way and the truth and the life. Whoever comes to me shall not hunger, whoever believes in me shall not never thirst. And maybe, I feel like, as we have to really focus more on our generation and our wealth here and how to build that up. And like a historic thing with North Carolina. Like this is something that a lot of major cities need to go up here and do, and holding our legislative and our city council accountable. I feel like, these are some talking points that we need: affordable housing, healthcare. I mean, we need to do that. We need education and fairness in the criminal justice system. These are like concrete ideas that we need to and bring a black men in the household too. So we can get out of our people out of these government programs in a way. So now we can do for self the money that we do have, because that's just something that we owe. For 400 years of slavery, that our ancestors have went through. So what is the new purpose and the new future for the descendants of slaves here in America, right? So that's all. I mean, I feel like, if Nick Cannon talk about that, that would be something more concrete, more in detail. But I still mess with my boy Nick Cannon. I don't know who's gonna take over this place, but it is what it is. That's just my personal opinion. So like I stated before, if anyone had knows any more information, but you just got to be careful what you say, man. I mean, it's all conspiracy. The only thing about conspiracy is it's good talk, but it's just hard to prove at the end of the day. Man, we have to get I feel like we got to get the basic knowledge, and we got to continuously to not just hear what people say, but we got to have like books, we got to have like readings, documents, and like, okay, we can use that, but let's move forward. Okay, like, I can't really sit up here and say like every one person is not for us against them, because they could be not just Caucasian, they could be anywhere. They can have a little Indian blood in them. Who knows, man? So that's just the eyes that I look into it. Is this whole situation here? But that's all I really have to say. We're gonna see how Nick Cannon's gonna move forward from here. It's like he's in good spirits right now, and let's see if he's going to continuously do his Cannon class, his podcast. So you guys tell me what you guys think. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe. This is your boy Young Lee Jr. I'm out. Take care. Deuces.